I woke up at 5:12 a.m. because somebody was crying. At first I thought it was part of my dream. Then I heard it again, soft, tiny, my daughter. I pulled myself out of bed so fast my whole body hurt. The apartment was freezing. The heater had been making that clicking sound again for 3 days, and I kept praying it would survive one more month because I genuinely didn't know how I would pay to fix it right now. I walked into Lily's room quietly. Moonlight spilled across her blanket, her little shoulders shaking. Baby. She wiped her eyes immediately, too quickly. Children learn to hide pain when they grow up watching exhausted mothers.
Bad dream.
She whispered, but her voice sounded strange, like she had already been crying a while. I sat beside her slowly. My back hurt, my head hurt, everything hurt lately. Come here. She crawled into my arms instantly, still tiny enough to fit there, not tiny enough to protect from reality anymore. That part destroyed me. By 6:30 a.m., the apartment became chaos. Backpacks, missing shoes, cold coffee. I forgot to drink again. My son yelling,
Mom, where's my charger?
Lily suddenly remembering she needed poster board for school. The dog barking, me mentally calculating how many days until payday while pretending my nervous system wasn't collapsing. I opened the refrigerator, half-gallon of milk, eggs, cheap sandwich meat, not enough groceries. Again, God. I was so tired of again. People romanticize strong women too much. Nobody talks about the humiliation of quietly checking your bank account while standing in a grocery aisle, or putting things back one by one, pretending you changed your mind, or praying your card goes through while your children stand beside you. Strength is ugly sometimes. By 7:14 a.m., we were already late, of course, always late. I threw backpacks into the car while my coffee sat untouched on the kitchen counter again. Gaslight glowing, perfect, just perfect. I laughed once inside the car, not because anything was funny, because sometimes exhaustion becomes so complete your body stops knowing whether to cry or laugh. At the school drop-off line, I smiled at the kids like everything was normal. That's motherhood, performing emotional safety while quietly drowning. Lily kissed my cheek before getting out, then suddenly paused.
Mom?
Yeah, baby. She looked down at her shoes.
I don't need lunch money today.
Immediately my stomach tightened hard because mothers know. God, mothers always know. Why? Too fast, too sharp. She shrugged quickly.
I'm just not hungry at school anymore.
Silence. My chest physically hurt because she was 8. 8-year-olds are always hungry. And suddenly I remembered her standing near the kitchen 2 nights ago while I cried over bills thinking she was asleep. Oh God, no, 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 no. She heard me. That's why I swallowed so hard it hurt. Baby. But she was already climbing out of the car, smiling too brightly, trying to protect me. Children should never learn how to emotionally protect their mothers. That realization almost broke me right there in the school parking lot. I cried after drop-off, not dramatic crying, silent crying, hands gripping the steering wheel while cars moved around me like normal life somehow continued. Because the worst part about struggling financially as a mother isn't hunger. It's watching your children become aware of the struggle, watching innocence slowly start adapting itself around your pain. The rest of the day blurred together. Work, customers, fake smiling, phone reminders about overdue bills. Then the school pickup puzzle started again. Every afternoon felt like solving a military operation with no resources. Lily finished school at 2:15. Ethan at 3:40. My shift ended at 5. Impossible. Every day impossible. I texted 3 neighbors. One couldn't. One didn't answer. Finally, Amanda replied.
I can grab Lily, but can you take Noah tomorrow?
Relief flooded through me so intensely I almost cried again. That's what survival looked like now. Women quietly holding each other together with carpools and emergency favors. That night, after homework, baths, laundry, dishes, permission slips, and another argument about bedtime, the apartment finally became quiet at 11:47 p.m. Both kids asleep. I stood in the kitchen staring at dirty dishes, too exhausted to move, then looked toward my laptop. Part of me wanted sleep so badly it physically hurt. But another part of me felt panic every time I imagined living like this forever. So I opened the laptop again. Course videos, business lectures, marketing tutorials, anything free, anything that might eventually change our lives. My eyes burned constantly now. Some nights I fell asleep over the keyboard. Some nights I forgot what day it was. Some nights I stared at successful women online, wondering how they survived long enough emotionally to become successful at all. One night, Ethan walked into the kitchen, rubbing his eyes.
Mom,
I looked up too fast.
why are you always awake?
God, that question. I looked at him standing there sleepy in dinosaur pajamas and suddenly realized my children only knew exhausted versions of me. Rushed me, stressed me, working me, surviving me. I smiled quickly. I'm just studying, baby.
Why?
I stared at the laptop screen too long before answering, because how do you explain financial fear to a child without giving them your anxiety too? Finally, I whispered, because I'm trying to build us a better life. He nodded slowly, like he understood more than he should at 10 years old, then quietly asked,
Are we poor?
that sentence shattered something inside me because children don't ask that unless they already know the answer. I stood up immediately and pulled him into my arms. No, baby, we're okay. But my voice cracked halfway through the lie, and he hugged me tighter, like somehow he was trying to comfort me instead. After he went back to bed, I sat on the kitchen floor, crying silently into my hands, the refrigerator humming beside me, laptop still glowing on the counter, bills spread everywhere. And suddenly, one terrifying thought hit me. I cannot keep surviving like this. Something has to change. Not eventually. Now, that night, the idea came quietly, not dramatically, not genius lightning, just exhaustion mixed with pattern recognition. I stared at my messages with neighbors, pickup swaps, emergency favors, single mothers helping each other survive silently every day. And suddenly my brain connected everything at once. What if there was one place for this? One trusted network, single mothers helping single mothers, verified, local, safe school pickups, babysitting swaps, emergency help, skill exchange, food support, late night emotional support, real women, real survival. My heart started racing, not anxiety this time, something else, hope, real hope. I grabbed a notebook immediately, started writing frantically names, ideas, features, community safety, background verification, emergency support, circles, single mothers, teaching each other skills, women helping women survive. The more I wrote, the more I realized something unbelievable. Every painful thing I survived had accidentally trained me to understand exactly what women needed. And suddenly my suffering stopped feeling meaningless. The next months nearly killed me. Work during the day, kids, homework, laundry, then studying business and building the platform until 2 a.m. I learned everything from free videos, branding, marketing, social media, community growth, apps, networking. Sometimes I stared at my laptop feeling completely stupid. Who was I kidding? I could barely pay for groceries, and now I thought I could build something. But every time I wanted to quit, I remembered Lily saying,
I don't need lunch money.
and instantly I kept going because I never wanted my children shrinking themselves around survival ever again. The first 100 women joined quietly, then 300, then thousands, single mothers helping each other, school pickups, emergency babysitting, jobs, food support, women crying during voice chats because somebody finally understood their lives. One woman posted,
This app saved me today.
I stared at that sentence for a long time, then cried alone in my kitchen. Because suddenly, all those nights, I thought I was failing. I was actually building something. 2 years later, I stood on stage holding a microphone while cameras flashed. Successful founder, community leader, investor meetings, press interviews, people calling me inspiring, and all I could think about was the little girl who once pretended she wasn't hungry to protect me. After the interview, I drove home myself. No assistant, no driver, just me. The house was quiet when I walked inside. Not apartment anymore. House, warm house, full refrigerator. No panic, no overdue notices, no calculating groceries before payday. Lily ran toward me, smiling. Ethan, taller now, both safe, emotionally safe, that mattered more than money ever would. Later that night, after the kids fell asleep, I stood alone in the kitchen staring at the silence around me. But this silence felt different, peaceful, not lonely, and suddenly tears filled my eyes. Because after years of surviving, I finally understood something beautiful. Sometimes the women who look like they're barely holding life together are actually building futures powerful enough to change other people's lives too.